Whammo. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are back for another Shit That Needs to Be Said show. A lot of stuff to talk about this week. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on outside and inside of the RC world. See, we got some lurkers out there already.
Why? I mean, I'm
Um,
lurking. I'm lurking right here.
what's happening, Mr. JB?
How's it going, man? It's been another week.
Yeah, no kidding. And yeah, just so y'all know, I did visit the world's largest Buc-ee's, and it's the first time I've ever been to a Buc-ee's, and it was insane. I can't believe how many people were actually there, and B, I can't believe how much crap you can jam into a gigantic gas station store. Gigantic.
I mean, I hear they're their own mall. So
Oh, yeah, it's like the size of your run of the mill Walmart superstore. But yeah, this one you could tell it was new, and the fact that it's
yo yo
officially
yo, let's start off shouting.
yay ooh ah. That's the perfect way to get the week, middle of the week kicked off by a little bit of yelling. Doesn't feel like a Wednesday unless we've gotten
I
yelled
mean,
at by
I was gonna
someone.
wait until the middle of the show before I started yelling about shit, but
Um,
I was gonna work you into
uh,
it slowly. I didn't want to start right off the bat, but hey, I appreciate. Ooh, coming in.
it's
What's up, buddy?
if you have the opportunity to go to Bucky's, there are two things that you have to buy. You have to get the beaver nuggets, and you have to get some beef jerky. Beaver nuggets, absolutely hands down my favorite. Now my favorite sweet snack, and I'm mad at myself for not buying more than one bag. I got one bag, and that was it. I got one bag of beef jerky. I got the shirt.
One bag is like a whole week's worth of calories, though. So
Yes, they are incredibly unhealthy, but that doesn't matter because their deliciousness overrides the unhealthy part. All good in the UK. Has some new toys. I have been absent from watching YouTube videos for a few days. The
YouTube videos. What YouTube? You know? Did you see? NorCal's coming out with some funny shit.
Yes, I am
It makes me
thoroughly
giggle.
pleased with the stuff that NorCal had some good ones. Earl Moore had some great ones about the motorcycle over the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Um,
that.
yeah, and as always, uh, propaganda. It just absolutely destroying Instagram with his shorts right now, both literally and figuratively. Uh, man, he had some hilarious Fourth of July ones.
Oh
Hilarious.
yeah, hey, Happy Fourth of July yesterday to everybody, except for those
Yes.
in the UK. I mean,
Yeah. I don't think Brits are. I don't think they take Fourth of July personally. At least not anymore.
I would.
Probably
I
a
mean, I
while
take
back.
everything personally, but
I did see some pretty funny memes. There was somebody that was standing next to the Thames, and they were pouring some Lipton iced tea. This is how we celebrate the Fourth of July in UK. That was a pretty good one. Um, yeah, the other thing that I didn't realize, California is very dry, and brush fires there are pretty bad. got firsthand experience, a pretty nasty one several years back while we were living there. So
Right.
fireworks are a big no-no in
Right.
Southern California.
Yeah.
You do not, they arrest people for having fireworks out in front of their house.
I know what you're talking about.
At least they'll come and give you a pretty fat little $250 ticket.
RC
Here in
Recreation joining us.
Yeah. Here, hey, recreation, what's happening? Yeah, here in Tennessee, fireworks are 100% legal, and pretty much any firework that you want is legal here. Even fireworks they probably shouldn't be selling to people, they sell here.
That's right.
Um,
You were telling me about this.
it's amazing. Typically your professional fireworks show, they're using 4-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch mortar rounds, which is just it's just a ball of
I like
fireworks.
to use about 20 pounds of tannerite at a time.
Yeah, they sell all of those here, mortars. So,
Right.
and then they sell them in packages where they got these. It's like a show in a box.
Right. You got your whole kit.
So yeah, you can buy 5 or 6 of these things, and each one has like 6 or 7 mortars in it, and then a bunch of little stuff in there as well. And you just light this thing up, and then go sit back for 5 minutes, and boom, boom, boom.
Right. We get fireworks that rock the windows, and you can hear from them. Them are real fireworks right there.
Oh yeah, I mean it sounded like my neighbors here directly to the side of me. They're probably good, at least 150 feet away from us, and slightly down the hill from us. But they were launching off fireworks. It sounded like friggin' Vietnam. It's just like, there's just explosions over our house. It was like, oh my lord! But man, it's insane.
Oh my goodness. How is everybody this Wednesday? Don't answer all at once, by the way.
I am fantastic. Fantastic. We had a great 4th of July. It was. We actually had a great weekend. Um, like I said, we got to go to Buc-ee's, which is for me the highlight of the weekend. Going to Buc-ee's. I don't know about anybody else, but
Thompson RC bringing the view count up.
what is happening, Thompson? Good to see you, man.
I appreciate everybody who stops by and watches our bullshit.
Hell yeah. And I mean, on top of Buc-ee's, the Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area of Tennessee, which is where Dollywood is at, it is, under normal circumstances, it's a fun place to hang out. Tons of stuff to do. I mean, you could literally spend a week there in Pigeon Forge along the main drag, just going to, they have like 47 different miniature golf places that are insane. They got the NASCAR speed place that has like 10 different racetracks on it where you can drive everything from, like little kid cars to full-blown go-karts, and a bajillion different places to eat. And then, of course, there's Dollywood. And then Gatlinburg, which, if you wander too far off the beaten path, you might be eaten by a bear, which is always, adds the danger element, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody ever
that's brilliant right there, because that's what RC events need, right?
An element of danger.
If you were out crawling like at Badlands, but like there was a black bear, or I don't know, maybe even what did I just see? Like a leopard. Let's just put a leopard out there, and if you run across it, that's your fault. Like,
well, I think you and I were actually talking about, like having, they can keep Badlands, keep it there, the Midwest, but maybe have a axial fest that is more central to like East Coast people. So, and I actually thought Gatlinburg would be a fantastic place to have an event, because it's the It's the entrance to the Smoky Mountains. There's tons of places to crawl there, and yeah, there's bears there. You know, be cooler for your scale. You know, your scale trail run when you're out there.
That way, if somebody starts to out crawl me, I just pull out my gat and blast their fucking rig.
But yeah, I mean, you get a scale picture, you get your truck, and you get a bear in the background.
There you go.
And all the
it won't be a scale bear, but
all the YouTubers will be super happy because they'll have really good content to share from the event.
Fucking YouTubers. Fucking YouTubers. And the fucking, oh my God, we're going to get into that, right? The whole influencer thing and the whole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's funny. I noticed
10 minutes in and I'm already squirreling out.
There's not a lot of content from Badlands this year. It seems like people are really kind of slacking on getting their event videos out there. So drop out there, you YouTubers, stop slacking.
I'm just gonna call it for what it is. Badlands is like a gigantic fucking mud hole, and unless you're into mud trucking, you probably just get it. You know, I don't even know what to say. If you like getting wet and muddy, because that's what's gonna happen.
Well, and I mean, had the weather been a day faster, you might have gotten a chance to see yourself a tornado while you were at Badlands.
That would have added an element of danger. Go out and crawl in a tornado. Where's your little weather watcher truck? Where's the propaganda?
The guy that made the little twister truck. You could literally drive that thing into a real twister.
No one wants to get their camera muddy. I've stuck mine down there.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of other people. You know, there's some bullshit I'll talk about real quick. When I was at Badlands the year that I went, and I filmed their fucking rock racing event, and I was running around with my GoPro like behind the cars and running behind the track and everything and getting down there and stuff. Those camera guys from Horizon are sitting on their butts. Like, I've actually got a picture of the one guy just sitting in the middle of the track on his butt. And I'm like, dude, like, you know, move a little. And then I noticed, like, the following year or whatever, they're actually getting those low shots that I got and following the cars around. It's like, oh, I wonder who maybe gave you that idea, you cocksuckers. Anyways, go off.
Well, I've never been that impressed with like Horizon's release videos.
Well, they put out okay.
The one that they did for the laser nut was, I think, the best one that has come out of Horizon that I've seen as far as a release video, because they actually had, I think it was the laser nut. Pretty sure it was. It was one where they had it jumping over the real version of it.
I just remember the god of RC coming over and tapping me on the shoulder, Mr. Brian Parker, and being like, oh, wow, man, you really put in a lot of work filming like that. It's like, dude, back off.
I don't know if I would call him a god. The inventor of the Recon G6, which quite honestly, in his own world, the explanation of the Recon G6 creation and why it's called the G6.
Come on, are we really gonna? JB, are you claiming to do the first what? Sparks? Yeah, yes, I am the first Sparks. Absolutely.
Yeah, propaganda.
No, you know, it could just be coincidental for all I know, to be quite honest with you. I just happened to notice that, you know, why was I out there the first year running around watching those guys? I mean, I actually have the pictures of them sitting on their butts. That's not a lie. But, you know, like I said, where do you think they came up with that idea? I got to wonder. It could be that they saw other people do it too. Fuck me. How do I know? What do you got on the list?
No. I was going to bring up, because actually brought it up about Gissenberg winning the NASCAR race in Chicago. So this is the
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
so it's the first race he's been in NASCAR. He's from Australia. He races the Australian Supercar Series. He also races sprint cars down there. He's quite accomplished a driver, but he comes to Chicago for the first street race that they have in Chicago, and the first time in 60 years that somebody's debut race in NASCAR, he wins it, and he did it in fairly convincing fashion. And I've heard all kinds of people say all kinds of things, and here's my take. Uh, Gisenberg is an honest to goodness road racer. Now, probably 20 years ago, many NASCAR teams would hire road racers specifically to run the road races. And that was primarily because their normal fill in drivers were no good at road races. And in order to keep the
Well, yeah, when you
maximum
get it
amount of,
turned right, that's like against the rules.
yeah, so essentially when you want to keep the maximum amount of owners points, which is where the real money is at, when you keep the maximum, you want to put somebody that's capable of going out and winning. And it was like Boris said, had used to do it. There was a few others, but many years ago they stopped doing it, and primarily it was because a bunch of the younger drivers got kind of pissed that their owners didn't have faith in them going out and running the road course and being competitive at it.
Right. Hey, Cape Cod.
And hey, Cape Cod. But essentially, what happened was a lot of these guys actually started going to like Bondurant School and places like that, where they would take road racing courses to be better at road racing. But one of the key things that a really good road race driver can do is heel toe.
Right.
So heel toe is being able to hit the gas pedal with the heel of your foot while braking with the toe of your foot,
I know what you're talking about.
or vice versa, because your left foot is over on the clutch so that you can downshift going into the corner, which is going to help you to slow down. What Scott Van Gissenberg did this weekend was basically a clinic in road racing, because I watched most of the race, and this guy ran mid to back of the pack for most of the race, but it was primarily because he was adjusting to driving a NASCAR. But when push came to shove with about 20 laps to go, all of a sudden this guy is right up at the front and he's outbraking everybody going into the corner by stupid margins. Like, he would make up 2 or 3 car lengths in a braking zone, which for NASCAR is very unlikely. But yeah,
10 people watching now.
braking,
Oh my gosh.
braking is typically very, very common for what dirt track racers grow up doing. It's also typically what go-kart drivers typically do, because you have a gas on the right and a brake on the left. There's no clutch. So you get used to braking with your left foot. But on a road course, your left foot primarily has to function with the clutch pedal, making it your right foot has to do both gas and braking. And since a lot of guys do speed shifting, you have to get the motor synchronous to when you're upshifting and downshifting. Downshifting especially, because you can blow out a transaxle or a transmission like that. But it was quite impressive. Quite impressive for what a shit show that NASCAR put on throughout the entire weekend. Partly because NASCAR doesn't know how to deal with rainy weather, because they never race in the rain, and B, because Chicago freaking sucks. it sucks. It's a shitty place. They arrested somebody on Saturday night, I think, for breaking into the track and like running his own street race on the track at night.
Nice.
Multiple teams had hired their own security teams to watch over things throughout the entire weekend, because basically everybody was paranoid that all of the trucks were going to get stripped and robbed.
Moto Stacker joining us.
Moto Stacker, what's happening?
I thought all the new race cars have auto blip for rev matching on downshifts.
So NASCAR doesn't actually have that. NASCAR is very low tech. They just started last year with sequential gearboxes. Up until then, they've been running, basic like 2-ton, 1.5 and 2-ton truck transmissions. Basically, the same type of transmission they've been running since the '60s. And yeah, unfortunately, NASCAR is dying. It's dying slowly, but they're a victim of their own problems. They've tried to do a bunch of gimmicky shit, playoffs, stage racing, all this crap to create artificial hype. When Justin and I have already talked about it, there's a few ways to keep the racing more interesting: spike strips, jam cars.
18-year-old college girls who play basketball.
Yeah, probably the easiest thing to make NASCAR more interesting to people is change up the tracks. They got into a real bad thing where they had a bunch of 1.5 and 2-mile D-shaped ovals. They were cookie cutter tracks. All the racing is the same. The cars go super fast, and they make 50 passes a race, but it's really, for 3 hours, it's really boring. Mix up the tracks. Go back to getting some short tracks. It's good to see North Wilkesboro back.
I was giving a shit over here about how we need to start 30 minutes earlier because he's got to go to bed
now. I know, hey, man. We appreciate you coming in and hanging out for a bit. It's I know it's late over there. Hey, Mr. Brown, welcome to the show. If NASCAR went to mixing it up with the types of tracks they ran on and also shortening up the races, keep your long race like your Daytona 500. That's your prime event. Races like that, have some of them scattered throughout the schedule, but nobody wants to watch 3 hours of Bristol. Unless like every 5 laps, a red flag and there's a MMA fight.
I was gonna say if one time during the race somebody stands up in like a crow's nest and fires a rocket launcher at the cars, just something it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen.
I think NASCAR and Formula One are suffering from the same thing right now. Hey, Mom is here. Hi, Mom. I think NASCAR and Formula One suffering from the same thing right now. The racing isn't enough to keep it interesting. So they're trying some goofy shit to try and make stuff more interesting. And people see right through gimmicks and nonsense like that. Formula One,
nobody has the attention to spend to watch a 3-hour race.
Yeah, Formula One just needs to take all the rules away. You can do whatever you want. This is the premier racing in the world. You guys, if one team wants to spend $18 billion and dominate for an entire season, great. Everybody else is going to have to do the same thing if you want to compete. So the teams that can't compete and whine and bitch and moan because we can't spend $18 billion a year, get more money. Tough shit. Sucks to be you. You're going to run in last place then. Bummer. And then it'll be
start 30 minutes earlier because I got to go to bed. That's all there is to.
Yeah. And that is why I personally believe we're seeing a resurgence of like dirt track racing and small time racing. I think motocross and supercross kind of making a resurgence after a little bit of a lull, because it's just simple, basic racing. That's all it is. Guys throw their race cars out there and they drive the crap out of them. And if they win, they win. If they don't, bummer. But I mean, because there's also some really great personalities in dirt track racing right now. If you have a chance, look on YouTube for T-Mez TV. Guy's name is Thomas Meserol, and he's an absolute riot. He's one of the He's one of the best characters in racing because he's just, I mean, he's a little full of himself. He's kind of arrogant. He gives you that Cole Trickle vibe, um, but he has fun. And I mean, he's living the dream that kids who watched midgets and sprint cars wanted. You know, so I wanted to be a professional midget sprint car driver, and here's Timez out there doing it, and he's having a blast. And he takes his freaking GoPro everywhere he goes. But a lot of times he's just an absolute clown. He rides one of them little one wheelie things around the pits, and he makes jokes with people. He gets in fights with other drivers, and
I
calls
have
them.
moved on to betting Bitcoin on Oriental Ping Pong. Oh,
See, RC Recreation, that's a good one. Add an element of danger. Take the pit road speed limit out.
why did
Cars
you?
going 200 miles an hour down pit road.
Why did YouTube block that comment?
Did they?
Apparently, you cannot talk about Oriental Ping Pong on YouTube. I even got laughs in the background. That's how good this was.
Unbelievable the crap that YouTube decides to
Oh
censor.
my goodness.
Which, that's a perfect segue into, you saw it on the thumbnail. Is everybody getting tired of influencers? I'm tired. I gotta say.
I mean, let's just say it. The RC sailors, who you said, or Earl Moorhead had a good point, and this whole Losi bike thing.
Nothing better exemplifies how absolutely pathetic
10 points.
the RC YouTube community has gotten than Mark Santeria posting a video 5 minutes long of him talking and complaining about how he didn't get one of the motorcycles from Losi to review. The second most pathetic was a guy that I can't even remember his channel name, but he actually took the video down. And I know that I looked, he had 76 subscribers, and he had a 12-minute video talking about how shitty Horizon and Losi are for not telling people that some of the colors were going to ship out before the others.
Right.
Because he bought the green one, and he heard that people with the red and the blue ones were getting theirs already. And how shitty of Horizon and Losi to do that to its consumers, and especially the YouTubers, because we rely on getting these things so that we can make videos, so that we can get views and make money and have free Ferraris in the garage. Crying out loud, Horizon, it's your fault.
I was just saying, have you noticed? Like, I don't see. I mean, maybe it's just me, and I know social media is one side of the story, but Mark Santamaria does not look like a guy that's hurting for money. I just can't believe that this guy's got to get on there and cry about spending $600 for a bike.
Like, well, he wasn't complaining about spending the money.
Well, no, but I mean,
complaining about
didn't
the
they
fact
send me one? And
he's
why?
Not
because
he's not important enough to have gotten one. And that's the sad part. That was the pathetic part. His thumbnail actually said, "Do they not like me anymore?" Over here, and then it said sorry over here, and it's got him with a sad face with his head in his hand. It's like, dude, you have like 200,000 subscribers, and you're bitching because the company didn't send you something that they only sent two YouTube sites got those things ahead of time. That was it. RC Driver and RC Sailors. And that's because Losi hedged their bets. RC Driver's got a ton of subscribers. But, he's one of the most subscriber YouTube channels than underneath Sparks and Kevin Talbot. But he has a big following, and he's also very PC and very vanilla. Same with RC Sailors. They're very vanilla, very PC. They'll be honest, but very PC.
Well, honest to a point. I mean, they didn't it's like I said, they didn't tell you about the intro video to the bike, did they? No, they didn't explain that part.
Well, I think partly because the quick start guide wasn't released from Losi when RC Driver and RC Sailors released their initial videos. I think did they block the remove pit road speed limit comment too? Canada YouTube. Well, hell, well, there we go. Recreation. I'll put that one up, and then I'll also I'll put the nerds your best.
Huh.
Hey, Robert.
I'm sorry if I missed
man?
it. No, I'm trying because I was trying to watch for that too, but
And I mean, Losi did, I think, a phenomenal job of marketing this thing. I mean, everybody's talking about it.
oh no, the bike's hot.
And-
I watched videos of the bike, and like you said, once you get it, once you understand it, because that's the thing, they're not explaining it to you. I mean,
Yeah.
they showed
Well-
you the video of them running it and blah 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 blah, but there's just a few little steps
There
that you
was a
gotta
few
do.
things, and RC Sailors actually got one thing completely wrong. They made a video, the 7 things you have to know, and one of the things is completely wrong, as explained by Earl Moorhead in the videos that he did. Now, Earl actually got the chance to go to his local hobby shop and get the demo version and play with it, and he noticed a few things right off the bat. And one of the things he noticed was that MS6C button knob on the back. The RC Sailor said that was how you control the height of the wheelie. And that's actually not what it does at all. It actually controls the amount of tip that the bike will get. So it'll allow you to turn sharper or not sharper.
Well, I don't know what happened there, to be honest, with the ping pong comment and everything. You guys, I didn't see it in my YouTube chat, but whatever. I mean, we're moving on. Shit happens.
Friggin' YouTube. YouTube is weird.
Earl is very good at the stuff. Yes, Earl is good.
And Earl
I can
did
see all the comments. Yeah.
And I think what Earl did was perfect because Earl got the bike. He did like a little unboxing video. Then he went out, slapped a battery in it, threw it down on the ground, and tried to run it. And he had all kinds of problems. And that was primarily, and he stopped his video. He stopped recording at one point. He's like, hey, I got to go watch this quick start guy. Because he couldn't even get the thing to fire up because there's the whole part of the quick start where you have to have it leaning on its side or sitting on the stand so that the software can get all of the gyro and all of that all figured out and set, because it's basically like a fly-by-wire system to control the bike, and it takes it 15 seconds or so for it to go through and get all of that started up and everything.
Well, I want to go back to that, but really quickly, do we see Losi commercials in MX or SX? You think? I don't. Yeah, in motocross or supercross, do we? Oh, that'd be interesting if they actually had a little dirt bike commercial during the race or something. Is that what you're talking about? That'd be interesting.
It would be smart. It would absolutely be smart. Because
it took me a minute, Motorcycle. I am not a bike guy myself. Rich is the bike guy. He's the bike expert. So
I don't think I don't think they did any advertising it. I know Redbud was this weekend, and I watched a bunch of what I could on YouTube, and I didn't see any Losi advertisements or anything there. But I do know that when they did the announcement, they went to Kawasaki Pro Circuit's headquarters and their shop to do an unveiling of the bike, because that was the green version's the big deal, is because that one's got Pro Circuit all over it, and it actually has Peyton on the jersey, which is Mitch Peyton.
I come to the show because we have some of the best chat, and I love to make fun of the RC world. I really don't know shit. I got to be quite frank with you.
But yeah, Motostacker, I actually didn't watch any of the super motocross stuff this weekend. I think there's some of that's going on in Europe. But it wouldn't surprise me if Losi didn't, or Horizon didn't advertise there.
I thought I saw that too. Doesn't Traxxas do the same thing? Internet is
Yeah,
really bad here, lagging very bad. Oh, we'll cut it faster.
Traxxas actually sponsors a trophy truck. They have they're a primary sponsor. I forget who it is, but they
Have a
are.
good night, 907.
Take care, Robert. Thanks for coming, man. Good to see you.
I don't mean to keep interrupting. Traxxas has sponsorships on cars, right?
Oh, he said the jerseys on Supercross last year. Oh, okay. So that's so I'm assuming that they must be doing some kind of sponsorship deal with
Gonna amp up
Pro Circuit, which is interesting. Interesting that nobody noticed that Losi was sponsoring that.
Why did this? There's another comment that I didn't catch. I see more and more dyed-in-the-wool Ford pickup fans buying other brands because of Ford dragging new truck orders out for a year of delivery. By Kelly Brown.
Yep. Ford blew it. Ford blew it by trying to turn the F-150 into a luxury vehicle.
I guess we're not allowed to talk about the Ford thing here either.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say,
we're going to highlight
Ford fucked up in their shit.
Pretty amazing the crap that YouTube censors for like no apparent reason whatsoever.
I did not. So, okay, I see this comment in StreamYard, and we've posted it, but I do not see it in the YouTube chat on my end. So
that is, maybe they're just censoring you.
It could just be me. It could just be me.
Man, Justin doesn't need to see this.
Fuck that guy. He talks too much shit.
What happened to Ford? Yeah, I mean, when the base model F-150 is rolling off the lot at $58,000 a year, I mean, you can go get a 3 Series BMW for less than that, unless you really need a work truck. But if you really need a work truck, and you go get a GMC or a Dodge,
I'd be taking my Ford Taurus and hauling a trailer I should not haul with it.
Yeah, over $100K for an F-350, which is,
Hey, 13 people watching. Hello to the lurkers in the back. Is my man crush here? I haven't seen him. He showed up at the end of the last show. He can't even show up at the beginning of the show.
He doesn't want to spoil you.
I understand.
Doesn't want to spoil. Yeah, I watch a guy's channel. He's a used car. He owns a used car lot, so he goes to all these auctions and repos and things like that. And man,
Michael's Drones in RC.
Hey, how you doing, Michaels? Yeah, the stuff that I'm seeing him talk about with the number of repos is going crazy right now, and the fact that the dealerships simply can't sell trucks. And I mean, Ford isn't the only one that's having problems. I know Dodge and Chevy are, sales are down for their trucks. I also think they're, trucks are so expensive now, and the truck is supposed to be. What's new,
pussycats? Barbecue joining us.
Barbecue. What is cracking?
Wow, 14 people watching us now.
Yeah, Michael, glad to have you here, man. I am doing great. I think JB's doing pretty great.
Oh, man.
Because it's Wednesday.
It's like I was telling Motostacker. I mean, the real reason I come here is for the people in the chat. The chat is probably what makes this show the best. And yes. We are unfiltered and uncensored here, and it's not just about RC. We talk about everything. We don't have to hold back.
Yep. Which, non-RC related thing, but it's kind of funny. The current old fart in the White House, I don't know if everybody heard about this little story, but his ex-crackhead son came to visit the White House this weekend, and holy shit, the Secret Service found somebody's cocaine stash.
That's where I
And
put that.
and everybody's trying to cover. Like, I don't know how this could possibly be. I don't know how this could possibly be. What are you talking about? Look at the gifs that are coming out on all over the place. The memes of yesterday. Hunter Biden was at the White House, I think, with his family and his kids, and dude is coked out of his mind. And I mean, they're showing it. I mean, dude's like walking, whoa, yeah, like freaking Macho Man at the White House watching the Fourth of
This
July
dude's like
fireworks.
snapping into a Slim Jim over here, and everybody else is like, "What the?"
I mean, and I can't. I mean, it's sad. It's sad that the media is so far gone that they're actually one particular network tried to say that it was probably Donald Trump Jr.'s that he left behind when he was at the White House
Right,
like 2.5 years
right.
ago. Like, come on, guys. Come on.
Because nobody cleaning would have found that.
You think the Secret Service doesn't go through and clean that place up after the ex-president leaves?
Oh my lord!
Yeah, recreation. Who saw that coming?
Earl Moorhead joining us, and Carl Ships.
Hey, Carl, good to see you. Thanks for coming to the show. Earl, man, welcome to the show.
I hope
was
I said
hoping
that
you
name
could
right.
come.
I hope I didn't slaughter that.
I was hoping that you would come tonight so that I could commend you and give you kudos.
We watched your shit.
Absolutely, absolutely fantastic videos about the motorcycle, and pointing out the fact that some of our fellow YouTubers are full of shit.
And why is that? Why do they got to do that? Like I said, why do the RC sailors take it out of the box? They don't tell you about the little pre-running video that they watched, but they just show you fucking rocking it out there, like, you know.
Well, nor did they explain at any point that one of the first things that I think Earl pointed out was the fact that you turn the wheel and the wheel goes the wrong way. So when you steer on the controller, what would normally be turning right in your truck or your car, the wheel on the bike actually goes to the left. And that's how the fly-by-wire system works, that it gets the bike to lean. So in order to get the bike to lean over to the right, it has to turn to the left in order for that to happen. And then all of that magic software wizardry happens, and it brings the steering wheel, it brings the front wheel back, and then allows you. And all this happens in milliseconds. But yeah, the greatest part about that was when you went back, when you were at the hobby shop.
Thanks for pedaling for a little while longer, 907. He's out.
Hey,
He tried.
thanks, Robert. Yeah, the best part about that I thought was after you had let the owner of the hobby shop run the bike around a little bit, and you had already gone through and sort of figured some things out from your running of the previous day, when you handed that thing to them kids, and them kids never even ran an RC car before, I believe, and it was 8 years old and 12 years old, and within 15 seconds of the hobby shop owner explaining to the kids what to do, them kids were out there running that thing.
God, people in here yelling, hit the like button. They're not even threatening us anymore.
It's not a Wednesday unless somebody's yelling at us. Now, it's typically ooh-ah who's yelling at us. And the great part now is Cape Cod's actually yelling at everybody else.
Hit the like button. But the funny thing about that is it's just like
15,000 bonus points for Cape Cod yelling at everybody.
Just not used to it not coming in as a negative threat. It's just so odd to have support. All right. So true.
Thank you, Michaels. We do appreciate the support.
These kids did awesome.
It's funny. I have ridden three-wheelers a bunch of times because I'm old. I had a very good friend of mine who had him and his family had a bunch of three-wheelers, and we used to go out riding those things all the time, not realizing that they were deadly.
pretty good durability when it went straight to the curb. Yeah, I mean that was the thing that I watched. I just watched a video just before the live show where a guy was running it out on a dirt track for RC cars, and I mean he missed a couple of the jumps a few times, and that thing took some tumbles, and I was like, wow, you know. What I was really surprised is, goddamn, I guess if you just kind of give it a second and you get back in the throttle, it'll just keep going. I mean, it wipes out, but it's like he just picks up the bike and just keep. I'm cool.
Well, the other cool thing I saw in Earl's video was, they were just handing the remote to random people coming into the hobby shop saying, "Hey, try this thing, go out and run it." And one of the guys actually, he was quite aggressive of getting on the throttle coming out of the corners, and he was actually he had it so that the gyro was kind of freaking out. He was getting on it so hard coming out of the corner that the bike was actually chattering, but it was managing to stay up.
The three-wheeler is that. Dad'll have to remind me. There was a three-wheeler. I ran over my best friend with a three-wheeler one time. We were out goofing around, and he hit the brake. What is it? The brake and the throttle were close together on that three-wheeler or something.
It was. It was.
He hit the gas, or I hit the gas, and he went up over me, and then I hit the brake, and then I ran over. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like,
I mean, there were the last three-wheelers that the awesome ones. The Honda had the 250R, which was a 250 two-stroke three-wheeler, which was absolute. It was just mad crazy. And then Kawasaki had their version, which was a 250, but they called it the Takati. And both of them were insane. Because it was a 250 two-stroke in a three-wheeler frame. And, unbelievable power. And then, of course, they outlawed the three-wheeler, and they became four-wheelers. Three-wheelers were awesome. The best video, it would probably get 1 million views right now, was like the 10 or 11-year-old kid that was like out at a beach in the dunes somewhere, and his idiot parents had thrown him on this thing and just let him go hog wild. And he's like full bore, fourth gear, and he just cranks the wheel, and that thing spits him off of that thing and then tumbles and lands on top of him as you can hear his parents freaking out. Ah! Idiot. That's what you get. Almost killing
front brake and thumb throttle on the same side. I think that's what it was. I hit the brake, and he flew up over me, and then I panicked and hit the gas and ran over him.
Which is, it's funny because it's still that way. I mean, I had a quad. It's right there. That's a 2001 Honda 400. But it was the same thing. It had the brake and the thumb throttle on the same side, and it was really tricky. What really happened was I never used the front brake on it because it was tricky to try and hold the brake with your fingers to push it in while working the throttle. Oh, I got you, bastard. I've had
JB is why they were banned. Probably. I think they were banned before I even got to ride one, to be quite honest with you. If I remember right, like we weren't supposed to be riding the damn thing in the first place, and then I think we got caught downtown pushing it back to the shop because it had broke down or something, and the police officer told us at that time that we probably shouldn't be out riding that thing around. I thought they were a blast. They said I had a friend of mine, his family had like 4 or 5 of them, and we would go down to the river bottom, ride them all day long. They also had the old Honda Odyssey. Oh yeah, I remember the Odysseys. I never got to ride in an Odyssey, but they were cool.
Yeah, I mean it was super cool, and I mean we didn't think anything of it at the time, and it wasn't until they got banned that like they sold several of theirs off. But my buddy actually continued to race his because they still had races for a few years of three-wheelers, and he continued to race his for a couple of years, but he couldn't ride it anywhere else. So like you couldn't get them registered, you couldn't do anything, so you couldn't take them anywhere. Southern California, Pismo Beach, Glamis, Ocotillo Wells, these big, huge sand dunes, which was primarily what those things were made for. Um, and in the period where they had banned the three-wheeler and they hadn't come out with the four-wheeler yet, there was like this empty period of time where like you couldn't take the three-wheeler out to the dunes and go riding them because they'd been banned. Crazy.
Ooh, funny.
And they were fun as hell. Probably because they were dangerous as hell. If you weren't hanging your ass over on the side of the seat while you were sliding that through the corner, that thing was pitching you off. I mean, that was just the first couple times you rode one, you ate shit, and then you figured it out.
After you run over your best friend a few times.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I can't ride it like that. I can't do it like that.
My cousin broke it. I didn't know that, Dad.
Wow.
I just knew that they were dangerous. I mean, I knew that.
I was lucky enough.
I mean, we had a zip line in the backyard that was dangerous, though. So it's like if you wanted danger, we could.
I was just having a text chat with my buddy today about how, which I got to give a shout out. His boy Logan, 25 years old, just graduated from Chico State. I believe it was last summer. Landed himself a fat project engineer job for a defense contractor company, making a boatload of money at 25. So, man, congrats and kudos to Logan and his dad.
Thanks for that subscription. I appreciate that. I forget. To be quite frank with you guys, I mean, YouTube and I love you guys and I appreciate it. Thank you, but I don't take it for granted.
That is something to be said. That I think both JB and myself and most of the guys in the chat here that got YouTube channels, we're not pro YouTubers, and most of us are not. I have no aspirations of making a career out of YouTube or anything like that. But
well, we try not to push our.
Yeah. Spot on, Earl.
Right on, 10 points, Earl.
Mowing is dangerous even when you don't put your hand or feet under the blade. As I learned when you take your relatively cheap riding mower on too steep of a hill.
Right.
It will literally flip, and it has no qualms about rolling over you and chopping you into little teeny pieces.
Yeah, I'm not doing this for the free RC trucks. Thank God somebody's paying attention here.
I wish I was getting free RC trucks.
Fuck that, dude. The thing
I would if I was.
Just a little side tangent. The thing about getting free RC trucks is, I guess now we just raffle those off for more money. That way I can pay for the real truck or the house remodel maybe I got. Whoops.
I think you said that out loud.
I did.
Dum, dum, dum. Not sure who we're exactly talking about. Yeah, and that's actually a good, I've been told I should be a professional RC guy. I think you said it best a couple of videos ago, Earl, that if you started doing it as a profession, it wouldn't be fun anymore.
Right.
It wouldn't be a hobby anymore. Then it would actually
I can almost attest to that. When you start doing it like a job, oh God, it gets so much worse.
Cape Cod, he just lost my support.
Yeah. 10 more points to Cape Cod for unsubscribing to my channel this evening. We talked about that. Yeah, Santa Maria and cry like a baby.
Yeah, that's actually I was going to say. If we're gonna become big YouTube stars and then cry because somebody didn't send us.
No, he won't send me anything, and it's because I sucked on Trex's cock for way too long.
See, propaganda is not afraid of shameless self-promotion. which is why he is winning Instagram.
I'm
He's
not
winning
denying that.
Instagram right
I mean,
now.
we can all see that. Yes.
The 4th of July reels propaganda, like works of art, my friend. The you in the outfit hosing yourself down with the water. That we got
It's almost
yeah,
as good as NorCal dropping the
you
ladies off at the lake.
do have that roll bar on the mower, right? Mom, no, I actually don't have a roll bar on the mower. Mine did not come with that option.
Mom
Because that
wants an
would have
exit.
cost more money.
It's gonna get you an exit page.
There's an Earl that has great stuff for a Traxxas fanboy. Barbecue. No, big kudos to you, Earl. I was absolutely thrilled watching what you did with that bike.
I think the fact that it had tones and lights, and unless you're paying attention for that, that's kind of like the biggest fucking thing, especially with all the settings it has.
And I honestly think that Earl did what RC Driver and the RC Sailors should have told you from the get-go,
Well,
which
they
is
probably did that in the first place, and then realized that they done fucked up, and
yeah, they absolutely should have told everybody, don't take it out of the box, throw a battery in it, and just go try to do this without the reading the quick start guide or watching the quick start video, because there's a couple things in there like, by the way, you can't just hold the thing when you turn it on. You actually have to lay it on its side or have it on the stand. Nobody would have known that. You know?
Yeah, the wheelie mode is fucking cool.
Yes. And I was nervous. I was nervous that in his first video that wheelie mode was terrible. And then I saw when he was at the hobby shop and they were doing wheelies, I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's what we noticed in your video, Earl, was when you were outside, you couldn't. Yeah. But yeah, back to that Mark Santa Maria thing. Like I said, the Mark Santa Maria thing is just a joke to me. He's either doing it because he wants more attention and more views, or he's really fucking crying about it, which is just stupid, in my opinion. Because as far as I'm concerned, spend $600 and go get one. Yeah, why don't you sell one?
That's the part. That his video got 13,000 views.
So much drama in the RC game. Oh, so much more than you know, too.
Oh yeah, propaganda. There's drama behind the scenes of things happening, which is it would make the RC world look even more pathetic.
I said I don't want to ruin you guys on RC. RC is a good thing. RC is a good thing. I keep going back to this, but yeah, I mean there is a real dark side of the RC world. That's for sure.
Yeah. Thumb switch stops and you have to toggle it the other way. Yeah, that was, I mean, I probably learned more in 16 minutes of Earl Moorhead's video than the entire breadth of videos that I watched from RC Driver and RC Sailors, because all they did was talk about how cool it was. Now, I agree, it's cool, but yeah,
dude, as long as they don't put Max in the title of their motorcycle, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I would have appreciated either one of the two channels doing a quick 5-minute video saying this thing takes a little bit. There's a learning curve to it. If you've been doing RCs, you're going to try to do this like a regular RC, and you're going to be unhappy. And you spend that much money, nobody wants to be, even if it's only for 15 minutes, nobody wants to be upset that they just spent that much money and the thing's a piece of crap, or it's just like every other crappy RC motorcycle that's ever been made. But yeah, Earl, again, man, fantastic job. And anybody that isn't subscribed to Earl's channel, shame on you. Shame on you.
I'm sorry. The new
Uh,
Traxxas MX Max dirt bike. Don't even get out of my chat right now. Whoa, maxing me out.
yeah, no, it was great to see that, Earl, that there was just regular people that grabbed the remote, went out there and played with it, and they're like, sold, gotta have one.
The MX Max XX. That's the way.
Yeah.
So it's the Max.
Yeah, recreation. That is, I think that is primarily where um, Losi, I think Losi and Horizon, they picked the most vanilla YouTube RC channels
Because
they could find.
God forbid we should actually fucking offend anybody. I mean,
Well, and they RC driver, big subscriber count, guy makes great
no, yeah, no,
videos.
I understand where they're coming from on the,
He's he's usually very informative, and he's got a good grasp of knowledge, so he usually explains things pretty thoroughly.
right.
The RC sailors, they're happy, they're kind of bubbly, they're never ever going to offend anybody. So good ambassadors to sort of spread the word about this cool new RC. But
I heard
yeah, they
I
could
heard
have.
somebody call them a nickname one time, RC Sailors. I don't even want to say what I thought I heard their nickname was, but something like, man, if somebody's got a nickname for the RC Sailors, throw it in the chat. I want to laugh.
I mean, I generally I don't watch a lot of their content. They do all kinds of stuff, planes and all this other
They do
stuff.
everything they can get their hands on. It seems they even that they've done some cheap Amazon shit, I think, and
Yep. And that's where
this is, like I said, self promotion and subscribing to my channel and everything. Like, you're never gonna see me do this kind of shit just to get you to subscribe to my channel. That's fucking ridiculous, man.
and I would most certainly never ever make a video where I explained where I reached out to a manufacturer and got my feelings hurt because they said no. I mean, yeah.
Depending on which RC manufacturer we're talking about, if I reached out, they may not even say anything.
I would say that most RC manufacturers, if I reached out to them, they would probably be like, you can contact us through the online virtual chat. That thing will handle whatever you got to say, or you can call our 100 number.
We got an email we totally ignore right over here.
Yeah, the other thing that kind of chaps my ass about this motorcycle thing is all the people the YouTubers that are rushing out there to make the videos that they got their bike. I got my bike. And here's the video. I'm doing an unboxing.
This is what he's talking about, the unboxing bullshit.
The unboxing.
Now let's start. I mean, who hasn't done an unboxing?
So as far as I'm concerned, I think I watched all the videos out there that RC Driver and Sailors made. I think Earl actually made the first unboxing video. So as far as I'm concerned,
unboxing videos.
Yeah, I don't. The Sailors might have done an unboxing, but I don't remember. But as far as unboxing is concerned, I think we've gotten to the point where the first person who does it, they win. They win. Everybody else that does an unboxing video after that, we just have to simply pass and stop watching it. And this goes for everything. This is just RC cars.
I mean, the only way that would be interesting is if there was some unknown anomaly in these boxes, like a glitter bomb or a dildo.
If there's something secret in there, if one of the boxes has got a golden ticket to go to the Willy Wonka factory,
and then I want to see openings. Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think we need to, as consumers, we need to put an end to this blight on society that is the unboxing videos, because I can only imagine how many Losi Pro Moto MX unboxing videos are going to happen in one, like over the course of one weekend, because everybody knows they're all going to ship out at the same time. I don't know where these, there's several channels that said they got theirs. And I think what's happening is it's actually the same thing that Earl did, which was the hobby shop got the demo version, and they either went to the hobby shop and they allowed them to buy the demo version, or they gave them the demo version because, hey, you're a YouTuber, you can make a video on this, and kudos to you. But yeah, the first weekend that everybody starts receiving these things, there's going to be 4,000 unboxing videos. And it's like, no, I mean, there's all the same crap in the boxes. Everybody's going to get the same crap in their box.
How about that? I can't do an RC video with no research. How about the people who took chopped video of Horizon Losi or whatever, took the video and made their own video and was like, I love this thing. It's so great.
Yeah. The people who took the stock footage to make, they took the stock footage from Losi to make their own video talking about how great this motorcycle is that they've never even had their hands on. I mean, Earl, you made a video because you actually got your hands on it. You had the box. And you're like, I got it. And you went home, you put a battery in it, and you went and drove it.
I'm not saying don't do an unboxing video if you don't want to do an unboxing video. No, that's not it. It's just like I said, but don't think that it's not a played out. I mean, gee whiz, how many times are we going to open the same box and look at the same shit?
Yeah. Yeah, Earl, I honestly, I think I said it before, I think you did better for that Losi motorcycle than even.
Yeah, they should have told Earl one, and they should have told Santa Maria to shut the fuck up.
I would have thought that somebody in the comment section of that video would have said, Mark, dude, you really need to take this video down because you look like a sack here. And can you cup the balls of Losi any more than you possibly are right now?
I'm going to give 100 points to my dad for that one. That's too funny.
Unboxing bags are like getting an offer from a hot date for tonight and ordering condoms home. Hey, Mr. Brown, bingo. We got to highlight that one because that is a perfect explanation. I mean, I've watched unboxing videos because I want to know what to expect when there's something.
Sure, I understand.
Or I want to know, like Element, I'll watch the unboxing videos because a lot of people will actually open the box up. And it's one of the cool things that Element does. They have the little garage in there.
Yeah.
So you actually want to see it because it's like, but even when there's something that I'm not going to buy, and I'll watch the unboxing just so I can say, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't buy that because it's a box full of crap. Or, bummer, I didn't buy that. It's cool.
Right.
The cool stuff in the box. But sometimes it's just curiosity. But yeah.
I had a relationship like that once,
But yeah.
I did order one, and it's a fun RC for sure, but it's limited for where it will be able to run. Yeah.
I think that racetracks.
The real Tony Clifton.
I'm doing an unboxing on the same.
Oh my God. Oh. Now I'm going to have to take a shower after the show. Thanks.
50 points for the real Tony Clifton for making it dirty.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to get a little naughty here on the show.
I thought for sure Mark Santa Maria was crying. I wonder how many takes he had to do. He's like in the background, like stabbing himself with a fork, so he built up the tears or something. He's
squeezing onions into his eyes.
You got
Losi didn't send me one of their motorcycles, and I'm sad. Is it because I make too many Traxxas videos? Yes, Mark, it is. It's because you make too many Traxxas videos, and we don't like you because you smell funny.
Look, I gotta ask. If you have to ask, you don't obviously fucking don't know. That's how you're like.
That's like walking into a Ferrari dealership and saying, "Hey, how much does that cost?" Get out. Just get out. You have to ask, then you can't be in here.
You obviously didn't understand, did you?
Yeah, also the fact that he did make that video from his casino vacation hotel.
I thought somebody did take it to a skate. I thought there was a run-in video of a skate park. I thought somebody took it to a skate park and bashed it. Was that the Sailors?
I don't think it was the Sailors.
Was that
Brock's RC? I think he took it to a skate park, but he was very mild on it.
I mean, I've seen some pretty big jumps with it.
I mean, they had Losi in their promo videos had them when they were at the pro circuit place. They had some jumps set up like out in the parking lot, and they were sending it pretty good. An RC driver at the bash park that he was at the hobby shop he was at, they had some pretty good sized jumps there. I know he literally broke the thing. They were jumping it, and he landed it upside down and it snapped the little plate. But yeah, that thing at a skate park is going to be scary. Who the first to take MSM clips and do some cool TikTok on shorts? You know, that's not a half bad idea, Earl.
Mark Santa. Yeah, you know, man, like I said, these guys, everybody, I don't know.
It's, you know, I'm going to get on my soapbox right now. Okay,
and
here
by
the way, I got two soapboxes. I got two soapboxes. The first one is freaking Buc-ee's. I went to the world's largest Buc-ee's the first time I've ever been to a Buc-ee's, and holy crap, those places are amazing. If you have a chance to be anywhere in the South or the Midwest and stop at a Buc-ee's, I highly suggest you do. Get you some beaver nuggets, buy 2 bags because one is not enough. Get you some beef jerky, get you some barbecue because for barbecue gas station, holy crap. And then just plan on spending an hour at the gas station because it's JB's wife described it best. It's like having a mall at the gas station. It is. It's fantastic. So my plug for Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's, if you guys want to sponsor the show, I would gladly accept a sponsorship there. You could pay us in beaver nuggets.
Wow.
Cases of beaver nuggets. I want a semi truck to show up at my house with a forklift and just unload pallets of beaver nuggets.
I will never sell out on a show, but by the way, Buc-ee's.
The other soapbox is, my wife and I talked about it over the weekend, and it's something that I'm noticing more and more about YouTube in general, and that is the greed of YouTubers. The YouTube was originally created for independent content creators.
Well, where did everybody go? We need all those 6 people back right now because I'll tell you a little secret about the greed in YouTube when Rich is done.
So, independent content creators, myself, JB, Earl Moorhead, Bobby Q, Recreation, independent, meaning just Tony Clifton, BDFSM. 50 points to Tony Clifton. Yeah, he just wanted to add more dirtiness. But YouTube basically has 3 types of content now. You have still the independent creator who makes basic videos like I do. I'm not making any kinds of money at it. You have big media money on YouTube, which is basically people that already have television channels like MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all of those, Disney, Paramount, you name it. studios that already have their own television channels created channels on YouTube because they saw the potential to make money. And the third one you have is the influencers. Now, 2 out of the 3 of those people are strictly in it for the greed portion of it. Influencers want money and they want free stuff. They're doing it. They make videos because they get free stuff. They're interested in getting free stuff. They will do and say whatever it takes in order to get money and free stuff. Whatever gets views on your channel. You know? Shameless, some of these influencers
Shameless.
Like Mark Santa Maria, shamelessly making a video that gets 13,000 views of him whining. Sorry, Mark, you're whining. You made a whiny ass bitchy video. Come on, you got to be better than that. But I don't expect anything more out of most influencers on YouTube.
Well, was that like Coach D made a comment before the show even started, something about, yeah, but it's never going to change. And I was like, yeah. God, I hope it fucking doesn't change. To be quite honest with you, I wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Our show would suck if we didn't have influencers to complain about.
Right. So, yeah, you go ahead and keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I can talk shit on you. But, you know, there's a reason I hand Tank this every time he comes here. Okay. There are things that, you know, like you said, greed.
Yep. And that is, you know, that is where I appreciate the true independent content creator more now than I think I ever have before.
Yeah, I got to post up my PayPal link real quick. Hold on.
I am more willing to watch somebody's channel who has 50 subscribers than I am willing to watch somebody who's got 250,000 subscribers. Because I know how that person got to that 250,000 subscribers. I also know that if I watch a review video, say from Earl Moorhead or RC Driver, that Earl's going to give me an honest opinion. And he's going to throw the thing out there and go, you know, it's a cool idea and everything, but it was kind of a pain in the ass to get started with. And that's a bummer. And it would have been nice had some of these big, you know, 200,000 subscriber channels actually told you that before you know, drop $550 on the thing. You know,
I'm sure OnlyFans was for private videos, not for feed pics. Oh yeah. Oh my God, we're gonna go back into the feed pic thing. Oh man. Yeah, now the rest of the viewers are dipped off. Thanks, Earl. This is it. End of our show.
This is typically when the show starts to go off the rails. And the great part is that I barely even touched my notes. Man, it's I mean, I didn't even talk about the Supreme Court and the some of the rulings that they've made in the last week that have left-wing socialist people going out of their freaking minds. Out of their minds. The best one was affirmative action. The former president of the United States and his wife, both of African-American descent, both vacationing on a giant $200 million plus yacht in the Greek islands, both commented on social media that now that affirmative action is gone, people of African-American descent will not have a chance to do anything. You are literally the president of the United States, and you're telling people they're not going to be able to accomplish anything unless they get special treatment from college admissions. I believe between the two of them, they both went to two of the most prestigious law schools on the planet. And I doubt that either one of them went there because of affirmative action. Both of them are reasonably smart people, so they probably got there on merit. The other great one was watching Joy Reid, the most retarded newscaster on the planet, over at MSNBC, talking about how she wouldn't have gotten into Harvard Law had it not been for affirmative action. And there's no better example of why affirmative action doesn't work because A, you're not even a practicing lawyer at this point, and B, you're full of shit 95% of the time, and you're a terrible journalist. So your college education was wasted on you. And you took the space of somebody that probably wanted to do more than just be an idiot on cable news television.
Since we
Just my personal opinion.
Since we just love to have two conversations at once, I did want to go back to the Cletus thing. Cletus, though, the thing about Cletus McFarland, I don't think he takes himself that seriously. I don't think he's actually doing that for self-promotion or anything. He's just trying to have fun and be a fun guy. How many screaming eagles of freedom you got underneath that hood? Let me tell you.
Yep.
I'm talking about people like Mark Santamaria who are sitting there fucking crying because he didn't get his toy. You got to be. I don't see Cletus McFarland fucking crying in the camera. All right.
And I mean, Cletus is also quite often he's out doing stuff where he's not asking anybody for money. He's not.
Yeah.
Companies getting free stuff. He's most of the time he's just doing his thing.
I know he's got his channels, and you can buy his stuff, and you can. Who is this Cletus guy? Oh, you've never seen Cletus McFarland? Oh, you need to check that out. I mean,
yeah, Cletus McFarland is great propaganda. You will love Cletus McFarland.
Total American.
Yeah, he aligns himself right with where you're at.
Barbecue.
I don't know if I can. Cletus.
Here, I'm just double checking. Drop a link. We'll get to that. I just want to double check and make sure. The whole world is ran on who you blow, not what you know. So what's the fucking difference? That's RC Recreation did not get by. 1,000 points for didn't get it. Well, what the fuck, dude? I mean, seriously. Let's be real with each other for just a minute here. Well, this goes back to, are we saving lives or are we men playing with toys? But this isn't about RC, because RC is just a tool. I mean, what the fuck ever, dude. All right, you know, we can beat around the bush all we want. RC is a fucking toy.
We're grown. We are grown men playing with toys.
You could call it therapy if you'd like to. I'll say that some of it is therapy, but I'll also say that no doctor is going to agree with you on a clinical diagnosis of, yeah, we're going to call this therapy. That's not going to happen. So
they will agree that it is a form of in accompaniment with other things like honest to goodness
it can
therapy
be good
sessions
for you.
Yeah, if you go to an honest-to-goodness therapist and have sessions with them, and that therapist says, yeah, you know what, taking up a hobby is good for you. And this is a good hobby for you because it's relaxing. You get outside, get you some vitamin D from the sun, which is always good. You get some exercise. And, you know, if you're lucky, you get some footage of a bear or a panther or something cool.
I love playing with toys.
You might just have some fun, and it'll put a smile on your face.
Remember the character Cletus McFarland started as a joke, honestly. Yeah. And he just
because that's not actually his name.
No, Sean.
I forget what his real name is.
I bet Dad knows too. But who's gonna remake Mark Santamaria video with a video filter crying? If I could, I would. I just don't look enough for like. I wish I knew how to use one of those. I've heard this before in the RC. This is the same shit, though. This is the same shit that goes on at competitions and everything else.
Yeah. Lowers anxiety. Yeah, Carl, it lowers anxiety. It's, this honestly is a great hobby to have. It's. My buddy just finished.
Garrett Mitchell. Hey, there we go. Hey, that.
Garrett Mitchell, yeah.
100 points for you both, Barbecue and Dad.
Did it not show? That's the link. I bet you YouTube won't let me post it.
Well, I'm gonna try. Give me just a second.
Why. It might be because I'm not a moderator of my own channel. Or it might be that I'm trying to do it through StreamYard too. Um, yeah, Earl,
There you go.
I saw a really funny video of
Well, that's not an excuse to drop out on my show right now, okay?
a really great video of a lady freaking out because somebody had their dog in a restaurant, which I in an outdoor seating area I'm okay with it, but if you bring your dog inside the restaurant, like
It should,
inside,
dude, as a social media director, should work. I know how to drop a link.
I went to the show, not the channel. Oh yeah, so it was because I did it through StreamYard. Freaking StreamYard. Thanks
Yeah,
for being free.
yeah. These two aren't going to talk to each other until we pay them money.
um, yeah, I would if I knew how to use that deep fake software where you could like put your own voice over somebody's face and it makes their mouth move and everything. I would
Oh yeah.
totally make a Mark Santa Maria video making fun of him and then post it everywhere so I could be sure that he would actually see it.
See, I wanted to do one of a TikTok of like me hanging out of the side of like the Gravedigger and going, ah! And then like you see this little RC car get smashed with like maybe like a Toyota Prius or something. I'm like, yeah.
Yes, propaganda. Cletus is not an RC guy. He does have RC planes, but he does some pretty funny shit.
What the fuck is this about?
Oh, this is
Fake,
this is a
real people.
this lady. I first of all, drugs nowadays. Holy crap, we got to do something. The drugs nowadays are way too gnarly. Way too gnarly. They're jacking people up. This lady was like seeing shit on the plane. And I don't know whether they were kicking her off the plane or she decided to get off the plane on her own. But yeah, she's like almost crying as she's yelling and saying that mother ripper right there ain't real. And yeah, whoa. If you want to see some scary drug, look at the Kensington Place videos. In Philadelphia.
Is that the one? Is that the one? Where's the one where he's just walking up and down the streets and everybody's like on fentanyl?
If you type in Kensington Place crackhead, you'll probably find this guy's videos where he's just walking around filming zombies, just zombies. And for some of them, I don't even know how they're standing because they're so doped out that they're arched backwards so far that it looks like they're in the process of falling over backwards, but they don't fall over. They're just still standing there, their backs arched, and then some of them are just like standing there hunched over for I don't know how long, but it's
the sad part is she wasn't half bad looking. Her Carrot Top, the comedian, was on the ladies. Oh well, that would have been funny. What else did it? I like this from Recreation. Let's send the Tonys over to Mark Santa Maria's. That'll cheer him up.
Assemble.
I should explain just a little bit. Dad is more of a car guy. If you ask him compression ratios, I bet he knows.
Your dad will appreciate that. That quad, 15-1.
Right.
He was an absolute maniac. I blew head gaskets like crazy because it would stretch the head bolts out. I actually had to go to ARP and get special head bolts made just so I wouldn't. I mean, like every fourth time I would take it out, stretch the head bolts out, get the head gasket gone. Kelly the XRT so quickly too.
What I was gonna say, he's not a big RC guy. He knows about it. He puts up with me doing RC. So,
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it is. It's the drug situation is really bad. It's not as bad as the child sex trafficking problem, which, if you haven't heard, there's a new movie. Mel Gibson's new movie is out, The Sound of Freedom. Um, the the story in and of itself is based on a real guy named Tim Ballard. Um, what he's doing is amazing. I I look at that through my skepticals because this is another 501c3 organization that makes gobs of money.
Oh God.
But I want to say that I'm hopeful that what this guy's doing is real and legit, and he's not doing it for the money. He's actually doing it because children are the most fragile and innocent of human beings on the planet, and they deserve to hold on to that fragility and innocence for as long as they possibly can, which is why this whole transgender thing pisses me off so bad. You don't need to teach kids this stuff. They don't need to know. They need to keep that innocence. And if you weren't trying to screw up their heads and ruin it and groom them for something to be something in the future, um, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing unless that's what you're trying to do. Bam,
Right.
sucker. I got freaking like 3 fruit flies that have been flying around my garage for like 3 or 4 days because idiot me left some fig Newtons open in my office here, and it's
Oh, I
been
love
90
fig Newtons.
degrees outside with 50% humidity.
I'm with the fruit
And
flies on this one.
yeah, you can't do that, or else you get little fruit flies, and they'll literally just fly right up your nose if you let them.
I was really hoping to offend more of the RC world, but
Oh, I'm going to circle back to that. I kind of squirreled out there with the Sound of Freedom. Um,
I don't know why. I'm just tore it up. He said, man, people. I hate it when people take what they have and they try to push themselves farther than, like I said, when you can't spend more than three seconds on an interview because you're too important for that interview.
well, torque to yield head bolts are yeah, Kelly Brown. Bam, 100 points to Kelly Brown.
I
for
told
throwing
you.
down torque to yield
I
info.
told you got to watch it with him because he knows his shit.
Yeah, in other RC things, Horizon, the monstrosity that they are, they bought Trinity. So if you've been around RC for a while, you know who Trinity is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've been making motors and whatnot for decades.
So basically, everything that isn't owned by Traxxas is almost owned by her. I mean, or Horizon has their hands in.
So there's Thunder Tiger, which is they own Associated and Element and Thunder Tiger. You have Tamiya.
Tomato.
I don't know how much other stuff they actually own.
Where's RC Basher Boy?
There's Traxxas, who basically owns Traxxas, and then there's Horizon, who owns everybody else. Tower Hobbies, and everybody is on. Yeah, it's kind of.
And I remember sitting in
Rock RC. I love it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. And then big companies buy up the small guys. We sat in on an interview with Rich Trulio, and I remember a comment came up where they basically called him out and said, hey, you do this for money. And Rich just kind of fucking went off the handle with that shit and was like, no. We love RC here at Horizon, and I love RC, and we all love RC. And I was like, dude, I understand. But the dog that barks the loudest is typically the one that's the one.
Well, not to mention
Horizon,
come on,
man.
Horizon.
You guys love RC about as much as you love making a fucking dollar.
Well, and Horizon in and of itself was basically just like Tower Hobbies or A-Main. They were just a retailer, and what happened was a hedge fund company bought Horizon and then started subsequently buying up all the little companies that they could to be under this umbrella of Horizon. But the reality is that Horizon is just the name on the billboard. There's another company, an LLC that's out of Chicago that actually owns them, as well as $400 or $500 million worth of other companies. By now, it's probably in the billions. The last time I actually looked was their net value of the LLC. I think it was like $900 million that they were actually in charge of. So they are just like a BlackRock. And in some cases, because I don't want to necessarily just bash Horizon because they buy up all the little guys, because in some cases, some of the little guys might have just gone away had Horizon not bought them. I think that was the case with Axial. I think Axial was doing okay, but I don't think they were doing good enough to sustain longevity. And Horizon came in there and swept them up, and Horizon did what Horizon does. But also in the case of like this Losi motorcycle, that R&D and the money that they spent to develop that wouldn't have been there had it just been Losi on themselves. Losi wouldn't have done that on their own. They wouldn't have had the capital or the money to invest that kind of time and manpower to develop something like that. No matter what the return on that investment would be, they simply wouldn't have had the capital to do it. So that's where a time where a big company like Horizon, who's got deep pockets, can say, yeah, you know what? This sounds like a good idea. This sounds like something that's going to make us a crap load of money.
But whatever you do, don't give one to Mark Santa Maria.
I honestly, if I worked for Horizon, I would make a video right now saying that if you own a hobby shop where you sell our product and you sell that asshole one of these motorcycles, you're out.
You're out. That's it.
You won't be able to sell it. You'll become a Traxxas only store. Traxxas and Tamiya, that's all you'll be able to sell.
Tomato. Traxxas and tomatoes.
And eventually, because we're Horizon will own everything, you won't be able to sell anything.
I can't.
I think ultimately Horizon is going to end up buying Traxxas.
That would be interesting.
Traxxas is, they're a big dog, big company, $40 million a year in sales and whatnot. But Horizon's Goliath, $340 million in sales. They got turds bigger than Traxxas over there. So I think if the opportunity presents itself, they would snatch themselves up. And then what would the Arma and Traxxas Facebook?
Oh my God. Could you imagine the hell?
If they're both under the same umbrella, then you'd literally be arguing with yourself. I'm better than you are. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Oh, crap. We're the same company now. Shit. Kind of like the Axial SCX 24 has basically disappeared now. There are no new developments coming. They're not making any new ones. They're not putting any new ones out because Horizon owns FMS, and that's their 24 scale company now. Arma's their basher company. Losi is their basher/scale company. Axial is their scale and crawler company. They have specific companies that do specific things, and that's how it works. That's how they keep themselves from becoming the GM of the world, where we have 4 companies that make the same thing and compete with one another, and it's all a shell game that we play with all of our numbers to make ourselves look bigger than we are. But when the market falls out and the government has to give us billions of dollars so that we don't fold and lose tens of thousands of people's jobs, and
they phase it out. Yeah, that's one way. If Kyle Busch would have went to drive for Hendricks, yeah. Too big to fail.
Dodge does have a TRX truck. I'm catching up on that.
I had to read some of that too. You guys, Rich loves to go on and on. That NASCAR race in Chicago was crazy. Yeah, we talked a bit about that earlier today. Was that just me and you, or was that here in the show?
That was here in the show. I have a text from my friend. He just finished watching it, and yeah, he says I love them bringing in the ringer. Which I honestly I think it's good for NASCAR. I think it's good for NASCAR fans to realize that what Tony Stewart said 2 weeks ago, that NASCAR's become a place where rich guys' sons are getting rides rather than the most talented drivers. I think that was a perfect example this weekend of a guy came from Australia who's a road race ringer, and he came in and he kicked the snot out of him. And there you go. You guys don't have the most talented drivers in the world. You have a few very good drivers.
Got a couple fucking Mark Santa Marias up in here, but you
do not have the best of the best talent in the world. 20 years ago, NASCAR could say that they had some of the best talent in the world and that they were recruiting some of the best talent, but now they're not. But even Formula One isn't immune. I would point out that Lance Stroll, his dad owns Aston Martin, and that's who Lance Stroll drives for. But he sucks. He's mid-pack at best. And there's probably 3 guys in Formula 2 right now that could jump in that car and do better than him. Hell, he's getting beaten by Fernando Alonso every race, and Fernando Alonso is only like 6 years younger than I am. He's old.
I thought the only reason they didn't go after the TRX was because they just didn't put 4 at the end of it.
I would probably say they didn't go after the TRX is probably because Chrysler, Daimler Chrysler, who also owns Mercedes, and they got way more money than Traxxas can go head to head with. So
right, well, that's
Dodge would probably throw big lawyer money.
RC Recreation's wife was probably right there in the fact that they're not going to go after them; they'd lose their licensing. It really wouldn't be smart.
That's true. And also, I mean, Traxxas can do it to other RC companies because they're a big fish in a relatively small pond, but they're a little tiny bait fish in the world, the real world of automotive. Especially, Dodge. Dodge is, they're part of a huge network of car companies.
Didn't Haley Deegan's brother win some motocross recently?
Oh,
what happened to all of
Danger Boy won the Red Bud because so in the first moto, Hunter Lawrence went out and spanked everybody like he has been doing all year. He has won, I think, like 90% of all the motos. In the beginning of the second moto, literally in the first corner, he got tangled up and ejected off his bike. I haven't heard what injuries he's gotten, but he did get hurt and didn't finish the race. So Hayden got to go pretty much untethered for the whole race. Granted, Hayden has talent. He is a good young rider. He's only 17 years old at this point, and he's riding in the 250 class professionally and not doing a half bad job. He's made a few podiums. He is a far cry better than his sister is, whom is making infinitely more money than he is driving in NASCAR.
Do you have your mood lighting on?
I do. I got the blue light.
You should turn it to red. I'm very angry right now. Where did all of our viewers go? Where'd that go?
We've been hovering around the same number for a bit here, but yeah, Haley has bought her way into NASCAR. She was one of the people that specifically Tony Stewart was talking about, that there's more money than talent, and I agree. And I've said it before. Haley needs to spend a couple more years in ARCA. I think she needs to spend some time running probably some dirt track racing, maybe some late models, and do some NASCAR modified racing before she gets into the truck series. She's taken the seat of what should be for a more talented driver. And when you got big money behind you, you just throw money at it, where the places that you finish aren't really that important. But the important part is she gets on television and they talk about her and they show her truck on TV because she's a girl. She's a girl, so they want to make a big deal out of it because she was the only girl that's racing in the truck series. And everybody wants so badly for diversity, equity, that they're willing to ruin racing.
I didn't realize I had the sun setting on me right at the moment. I didn't know it was that time of year. Super bright over here. You see that?
Yeah.
Whatever. I digress. Haley should have stayed with the off-road trucks. She got a smile and nice, whaties. That gets you far.
Unfortunately, to
Let's
me,
just say it. Sex
Haley,
sells. I mean, sex sells. Everybody knows this. That's why Rich gets 1 million views all the time. But that's not the point. The point is she really just can't. It doesn't matter how you look. If you can't do the job, you can't do the job. You can look like $1 million, but that doesn't mean you can do the work.
in the history of motorsports, there have been few and far between female drivers that have been ultimately successful.
Makeup.
Everybody wants to point out Danica Patrick because Danica Patrick's the only woman that won an Indy race. Danica Patrick won that Indy race because they called the race before it was actually over, and Danica Patrick happened to be leading the race because before they called it and threw a yellow flag because of rain and everything else, she and her crew decided not to pit because there was the potential the race was going to be called. So Danica won that race basically because they called the race, and she kind of cheated her way into winning. Other than that, that broad never did anything in IndyCar. She never did anything in NASCAR except for crash into people and piss everyone off. Haley Deegan is following down that same path of crashing people and pissing everyone off, and then she runs around and tries to get in other people's faces, which I think is freaking hilarious because she knows that nobody's going to punch her like Ross Chastain did to Noah Gragson. You come up, get in my face, start pushing me around, and he punches you in the face. Yeah, propaganda. She won on a technicality. It was bullshit.
See now, is that what RC needs or not? That's my question. Does RC need this like I mean, should we just confront each other at an event and punch each other in the face and have this shit out, or what?
I think that RC should have our own octagon at events. We should have an octagon where people can take their beefs and yeah, we can work it out. Work it out the way men work it out.
That would be fun.
I actually saw something. I actually saw something that made me laugh. It was a quote from a movie. It was children yell, boys punch, girls scream, men fight with their gray, meaning gray matter. And it was from a movie, and it's like something, I think Colin Farrell said it or something. But yeah, I think at any point in the RC world, you ever have to make a threat to punch somebody in the face, you need to stop RC. It is no longer relaxing or therapeutic for you anymore.
I didn't say you wanted to. I'm sorry. I always take it out on you guys. I was in a meeting one time where the guy came in and said, "I will punch you in the face." He was a fellow RC member, and we were talking about RC. Anyways, whatever.
Yes, RC recreation. It's funny. Danica was like 3 feet tall, so she'd be screaming at your belly button. The funniest thing about Danica was she was really, really feisty, and she was not afraid to like charge up on people and like grab a hold of them and yell at them. And it's like, man, first of all, if you and your little midget ass was a man, you would have been knocked out so many times. You'd look like Sonny Liston. But the fact that she knew
Is a transmitter considered a weapon?
Yes.
Depends on if you got brass on it or not.
It also depends on whose hands it's in.
Yeah. I bought this brass knuckle transmitter.
I love this part of the show. It's every week, the last 30 minutes of the show is just complete and utter chaos and squirreling. It's fantastic. It's what makes this show great. Absolutely. The chat The chat here better than any other live RC show there is, there's ever going to be. We are setting the all-time high limit bar for this is what your chat should be like in your show, every show.
Award winning. Oh,
I would gladly accept an award, and along with the award, a sponsorship of beaver nuggets.
Sponsorship of beaver nuggets. Yeah.
The only award I need is a lifetime supply of beaver nuggets.
It's typically in the last 15 minutes. That's the best part, barbecue. Is the last 15 minutes or so. But yeah, you're right.
You know, I think it's because typically we are like the gyro in the motorcycle, except it takes our gyro about an hour and a half to really get wound up and at full speed, and that's when the chat really starts to kick in. Like everybody's like, "Oh, is it okay if I say this? Is it not okay?" I can guarantee you it's okay to say it.
The Joe Biden Achievement Award. It's a gold toilet,
and the prize for it is a full diaper.
Yep, nice.
Did anybody see the short video clip of after whatever speaking he was doing yesterday? I like wandered around on stage for like 30 seconds. Was just lost. It's just number one, his wife and his son. You should be ashamed of yourselves. This poor guy needs to be sitting in a rocking chair with like a blanket over his legs, like watching reruns of Matlock and drinking hot cocoa. And instead, they got him propped up in the freaking White House, babbling like a freaking lunatic. I just told Satan's secrets all the time. I used to drive semi trucks.
Did you need them? Oh, too funny.
If you don't know whether you're voting for me or Donald Trump, then you're not black.
We're in the last like few minutes of the show. I know my man crush has got to be here.
He might be lurking.
He might be lurking.
There might be lurking.
I know how it is for Irish people to come out in the sunlight, you know.
It is summertime, and it's hot outside. Sunburn factor is very high. Old RC near and dear to your. I feel like something's coming from propaganda right now. Recreation. Yes, we like to refer to Sean as JB's man crush, because he did offer to fly to Colorado.
What was it? Just it's kind of followed me around social media like, and then yeah, it was weird, man. He made it weird. He made it weird with the rest. Well, you know, all those guys made it a little fucking weird when they chased you down the first time. Like, I mean, seriously.
Well, yeah, but I mean, and but Sean is special. Sean holds a special place in our hearts here at the Shit That Needs to Be Said show, because Sean's got balls. He's man enough. He's got balls to come in here.
It is true.
And he's man enough
under his own name. Now,
coming back.
I mean, anyways, RC Stalking is a real 100. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Don't be surprised.
You gotta feel.
Let's see. I need to say hi to Jack from Australia. I gotta say hi to Frank the Tank because who else? Tony Cece. Hey, I don't know if you shouted us out last week, but we appreciate that.
And I gotta watch the podcast or listen to the podcast to see if he did.
If you didn't, Tony, well then you can go yourself. All right. And
if you didn't, the wrath of Tony is coming after you.
Really don't care.
Why? I didn't realize that Tony Cece is a Tony. And when I threaten him with the wrath of Tony,
it's the wrath of
I'm not threatening you with the wrath of yourself. The Tony Cliftons will come for you. Yeah, no matter how angry he is. Sean is our special Irish friend. And when I say special, I mean,
I mean special.
you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, too funny.
Hopefully, Sean will go back and at least watch the replay of this. If he's not here, lurking in the background, and he'll get himself a nice chuckle.
I don't know. I forget who
Man,
else I
come
made.
on.
Anybody I
Go.
haven't named.
We've
people
said
let's see, the people at Proline. I'm just gonna go there. I know a couple of those a-holes. How about some of those Recon G6 MF fuckers? Like, thank you guys.
I got to mention every show. Kevin Talbot,
Get a
freaking
fucking haircut.
barbershop. Visit one. Not even a barbershop, because you're probably going to a barbershop now and they're doing you wrong, buddy. Go to a freaking Supercuts or a Smart Clips or that place where they got the sporty haircut place where they're playing. It's like the Buffalo Wild Wings of barbershops. Go there.
Propaganda's got to go. He's going to make another Wet and Wild video.
Thank you, Propaganda, man. It is always a pleasure having you hang out with us here. And yes, please make more content, much more. I'd like to see like 8 or 9 reels a day. Get the day job. Just man, I totally understand about the AC, because it's hot as shit here right now.
Right, you're in your garage, right?
I'm in my garage, and the best part is where I have this part of my garage closed off. I have an air conditioner in here, and it keeps this area cool. But how an air conditioner works is it takes the cold out of the air, and then it's got to put the leftover hot air somewhere. So as soon as I walk out of the curtain, it's like 9,000 degrees in my garage, because my air conditioner is just pumping all the hot air into the rest of my garage.
Damn, more than 10 videos a day. That's right, Earl. If you're not cranking them out, you ain't fucking anybody. Let me tell you right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna pull a Brian Parker and look at you and be like, "Well, you did an okay job, kid."
Barbecue thinks that Talbot wears a rug, which
it might be a toupee.
And if that's the case, Kevin, get some freaking plugs, dude. After a couple of years, they look almost natural.
God's got a motherfucking Lamborghini. He couldn't afford some hair extensions.
I mean, Joe Biden had hair plugs, and at this point in his life, you would never know. It just looks like he's got normal, old man hair. But Joe Biden was going bald in the 80s and the 90s. Like, he had comb over and everything, where there was like 6 pieces of hair that went all the way across the top of his head, which is fantastic. Nothing like a good comb over.
That's how I'm rolling now, dude. Yeah.
I mean, you got hair, my friend.
I do.
You got hair.
You can't see it, but I do.
I got it. It's creeping back a little bit here in the corner, but there's still a few left.
Anyways, all right, enough of that shit too.
86 at 8 a.m.
What can we end the show on here? What have you got?
Let's end it on a happy note. I don't know if anybody has seen this, but it's fantastic. A DoorDash guy delivering a pizza to what is apparently a fairly nice house. He hands the pizza to the woman, and she says, "Thank you very much." She's off camera. It's like their Ring camera. And as he steps away, he turns around and he says, "This is an awfully nice house for a $5 tip." And the lady says, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much." And he turns around at this point and says, "Go fuck yourself." I love it. I love the fact that people are so unappreciative of tips. I myself, I get in trouble with my wife all the time because I tend to over tip, because there are times when somebody has done at least a decent job and they deserve, because look, I get it. You got a crappy job as a waiter or waitress at a restaurant. So I like to give, but there are also times when I've given people zero tips because they've done a shitty job. And I do believe that this thing with tipping has gotten out of control.
All right. Here's the deal. I'm not actually going to say lurker, but for someone who sits in the back, there's a highly intelligent person to come in here at the last second. Green Frog.
Green Frog. Trump's comb over is next level. You know, it's funny. I saw the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show where Donald Trump actually let Jimmy Fallon mess his hair up, and he's got more hair up there than I thought.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised, oh, dude, I thought literally the whole thing was gonna fold over and there would be freaking chrome landing strip right here. But yeah, I was fairly surprised. And yes, man, welcome, Green Frog. It's good to see you.
The thing about Uber, it was a way to provide delivery service, but it just kind of, it didn't. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Because you're trying to make something cheaper than it should be, and you just can't. I mean,
DoorDash and Grubhub, I understand it. I have used them, and it is nice to be able to order food from a restaurant that you typically have to go sit down in a restaurant, but you just don't feel like going to a restaurant, so you go to Grubhub or eat some food. But damn. They absolutely jack the prices up on you, and they don't give you an option. They give you the other, but they almost don't give you an option not to tip.
Right.
It's like, first of all, you're charging me more for each menu item. Then you charge me a fee. Then you charge me a delivery fee. Then you charge me sales tax. Then you want me to tip your driver. And it's like, damn, dude, I'm ordering 2 burritos from the Mexican food restaurant. It costs $8, and the bill is $47.95.
Right.
Oh, damn, the convenience of having food delivery is kind of expensive.
I like everything the chat is saying right now. You guys are, pretty much spot on with what you guys have been saying. I love it. Stop being lazy. Go get your own food. Yeah, that was the one I wanted to comment on. Was I had read Reddit or something somewhere on social media where this girl was using Uber or whatever just to get food from the Olive Garden that was right across the street from her apartment. That's how lazy she was.
Now, I can justify being lazy and not wanting to go to the restaurant because I'm a good 15-minute drive outside of town. And I am fat and lazy, so I
can't say I haven't.
No, sometimes it is just that convenient.
Give me a burrito.
Give me 5 burritos, please.
Anyway, yes. Thank you for saying we're the best show. I love that shit. We should probably get the hell out of here. Speaking of food, I need to eat.
I can't believe it's already 2 hours. Man, time flies when you are having fun and hanging out with our friends. You guys you're all our friends here. This is just a bunch of friends hanging out in the garage, talking about whatever the hell we want.
Guys,
if YouTube wouldn't throw us off the air for hanging out, drinking beers, we probably could hang out and drink beers.
Definitely a bunch of assholes I can get along with. I appreciate that.
But the gas station here does not deliver food. The strange thing is that I believe if you live close enough to the Buc-ee's, they'll deliver.
Jesus.
Uber Eats will deliver you food. I'd like 14 bags of beaver nuggets and 2-liter bottles of Diet Coke.
If unlimited bread, see, Green Frog, I'm telling you guys, that guy is sharp. Unlimited breadsticks were delivered. That's right. I need another order, please.
Yep.
That's mad.
You just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get the unlimited breadsticks and salad. And then you just order the cheapest thing they have in the menu to get and then you just box up the meal and take it home and have that for dinner the next night.
That's right.
It's like a 2-for-1 deal at Olive Garden. Yes. Hey, so that is going to do it for this week's show. Once again, thank you to everybody that comes in here and hangs out with us. Come back again next Wednesday night. There's more shit that needs to be said. Have a fantastic rest of the week. I hope that everybody had a good, happy 4th of July. And if you had your American flags out there, you damn racist bastards.
Jesus.
Somebody actually did say that. If you hang your American flag out for 4th of July, you're a racist.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
I always
anyhow, yeah, man. Thank you all very much for coming. We will see you next Wednesday, Mr. JB. Have yourself a wonderful evening. And now we will wait for that.